Yo, what's up guys, it's me Jake here, and today, and not just today, this month I want to be talking about more newer series that I've been reading, and that are like 5 volumes and less. So before I get into that, that's just what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reviewing more shorter series because I want to talk to you guys about the series I've been recently reading, and this one is no doubt one of the better ones, and that's going to be the first 2 volumes and the only 2 volumes out of Yakuza Reincarnation. Now, if you know nothing about Yakuza Reincarnation, it is crazy. It's really good. It is an isekai, but I feel like it is done in a very great way. Now, I assume that you guys probably assume that purely because the name has reincarnation in it, but if you guys know nothing about Yakuza Reincarnation, we follow this Yakuza member who is a very old man at this point. It's at the tail end of his life, and he's still in the Yakuza, still just roaming about, but until he gets betrayed and goes out in a blaze of glory and gets reincarnated as this princess in danger. Now, this princess in danger then survives because she gets inhabited by this old man and knows nothing about it, and he takes over her body and completely just stays the same in this world and is basically just a Yakuza member inside of a fantasy world. That's basically it. But I'm going to say this right now, the art, I can just show some panels, is just crazy sometimes. Like, I really think the art is phenomenal. I love the kind of motion inside this person's artwork. I really like the characterization inside their artwork, and I really like just the artwork in general. It's really entertaining and really great to read. Really interesting, definitely a different art style from one that I'm used to, and it's just something that gives me a breath of fresh air. It's one of those series that definitely has a different kind of grasp on what it's trying to do and different kind of way of showing it, and I really like how they do it. Their art is just phenomenal, and I'm just gonna say this right now, if you've yet to read this or pick it up, it is only 2 volumes right now. I know there's like 4 up for pre-order, like 3 and 4 up for pre-order, and they look phenomenal as well. They don't follow this kind of cover design, they follow this one. Very happy with that decision that the manga made. They definitely should have started with these cover designs with like the kanji and stuff in the back. It looks way nicer than this, but really, really interesting story. I definitely highly recommend this one. It is one that I think you won't get the same kind of feel as any other series from it. I feel like it's definitely one of a kind and definitely very different, because the first, I would say, arc is in the first 2 volumes, and there's also a little bit of a new arc after that, and it really just shows what it's capable of doing. It's capable of making this Yakuza member kind of show what Yakuza really is, and kind of show, yes, he is kind of overpowered in this world purely because he can fist fight, man. He knows how to fight, but he also knows a lot of stuff about the world, and kind of a lot of stuff about how to do things, how to get people unaddicted to things, and how to get people addicted to things, and it's shown because he uses stuff that would get you in very big trouble in the real world in this to kind of show what he's capable of and what Yakuza are capable of. And I think that's a really interesting kind of take on this kind of isekai, because it's not like he's overpowered to be overpowered, like it's just some random otaku who gets reincarnated and he has like infinite mana and becomes like God. Like, it's not like that. He of course can die. It's not like he is super technically overpowered. It's more that he already knows a lot of fighting skills. He already knows a lot about the world because he's an older man who got reincarnated into this younger body, and of course he is a Yakuza member as well, so he knows how to do these fighting styles and how to counter things. So it's a really interesting take, I would say, on this. It's not just one of those ones, like I said, with the otaku just being overpowered. I really don't like that trope anymore. I do like it sometimes, like in a novel I've been reading in Eminence and Shadow. I've read the first 3 novels. Amazing, phenomenal novel, top line novel for me. But those light novels are also an isekai, which follow a, not otaku, but someone who's legitimately crazy getting isekai'd. And it's not like said he's legitimately, he just is legitimately crazy, and it's just a comedy about that basically, and he's trying to become a side character. And I think that's what those kind of takes on isekais are really interesting, where it's not the typical one. It's one that's kind of out of the ordinary, and nothing that's still in the box. It's out of the box. It's just something really interesting, and I really think Yakuza Reincarnation hit that nail on the head. I really think it's not one of the typical isekais that you're gonna read. And of course, there's a lot of typical Isekai light novels, but a lot of them are pretty good. Like, I haven't read Overlord, but I hear it's amazing. I also did watch Overlord, and I will say it's really good. But like those kind of isekais, they are really good sometimes. I will admit that some typical isekais are just amazing light novels, but that's off the topic. I'm gonna say this, highly recommend it. I think I put this on my any list as like an 8.7 or 8.6. I like rating things with how I read it, and it can go up and down. It's a very ever-changing cycle of when I'm reading things. Stuff can go way up from volumes, and stuff can go way down from volumes. One of them that I'm going to be talking about later actually went way up with a volume recently, and I'm going to be talking about in a video probably later this month if I can make a thumbnail for it, because it is very ecchi, and I wanted to say, read it, everyone read it. I would say you have to be a little older to read that one, but this one, you can read it at any point. There's a little bit of etchiness in volume 2, but it's nothing crazy. It's not like you can't read it if you're like 15 or 14. It's like a girl in a bra. I don't think that that's bad. So I'm going to say that that's not that bad for the younger audience, but I'm going to say there is definitely a lot of blood and a lot of very bad things that happen. So I would say that this is definitely probably not for the younger audience for that reason. But of course, I think if you're like a teenager, it's fine. I feel like if you're like under like 12 and under maybe, and you're like a little bit less mature, then yeah, don't read it. But if you're like very mature, then go ahead. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Just if you want to read it, just read it. If you don't know if you want to read it, read the first chapter, and then you'll be hooked. I bet you, if you read the first chapter and you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I think the first chapter perfectly encapsulates if you will like the series or not. If you don't like it, you probably shouldn't read it. But if you really like this first chapter, which I think it's a really 50-50, you're either really going to like it or really going to dislike it. So I'm going to say if you really like this chapter, you're probably going to like the rest of it so far, because so far it is peak, it is banging, and I'm going to say it's very great. The characters are really interesting, other than the Knight guy. I really don't like the Knight dude, he's just annoying. But the main two girls, the main character and another girl, the elf girl, very good. I really like both those characters. I really like all the worlds so far that we've built up. I like how it's kind of interacting with the princess as well. I think there's a really interesting kind of take on this, and I really like how it's building around these characters. I like the world, how it builds, and these characters and how they're affecting this world. It's a really interesting world kind of building scheme that they're going on right now, and I really do like it. And I like the character building right now as well. I like how they're kind of showing off different races and different kind of places on this world that are really not going to be seen in most isekais, I would say, because they're very weird and different takes on places that I really like a goblin. I think it's a goblin, or is it like a half-elf or something like that? Volume 2, there's a weird race that gets shown inside of a weird cave, and I think it's an elf breed, but I don't remember. It was really interesting take on it. I really did enjoy that, and I did like how it was going around and how it kind of built at this world a little bit and showed different races that you don't usually see in isekai. I really do like that, and I will say it's building a lot of things that I'm enjoying, so I cannot wait for more volumes. Hopefully there's a lot more, because I feel like this one could be like a 15 to 20 volume series, and I'd be very okay with it, because there's a lot they're building towards, and there's a lot that they're doing with these characters early on that I could see get built upon a lot more in the future. So, say definitely highly recommend this one. It's definitely one I enjoy. I know I've been kind of rambling about the same stuff, but I enjoyed it a lot. I will say though that these covers definitely encapsulate the same character two different ways. If you look at them, so the ring light, it's the same character but does not look the same at all. And I will say the first volume, I don't know what they did with this. This cover is just not that good. That's the reason I was like been iffy about picking it up. And this dropped and I saw it at Barnes. I'm like, nah, this is gonna be fire. But I will say I thought that these were really interesting just from this me skimming and seeing all the art, and I thought it was a really interesting kind of art style. Oh, this is a panel I wanted to show earlier, but I couldn't find this. This is just like a proof that the double page spreads are crazy. Really liked it. I like how they kind of they did go with like a huge like drug dealer kind of arc as the first major arc. I did think that was a very good take for a Yakuza series. I think having that as the first major arc helps build upon what this character is going to be in the future. I will say I cannot wait to see what other things he knows about the world and what other kind of wisdom he has, because he is an older guy. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this in the future. There's just a lot of stuff that I am very excited about. But yeah, that is basically it for me with Yakuza Reincarnation. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace!